where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the new Transformers Generation Selects Guardian Robot from Generation 1. And while this is another repaint, and officially the first Army Builder Titan released by Hasbro, this was also a really awesome figure release. Because one, the Siege Omega Supreme figure mold was absolutely amazing and an incredible figure, and in my opinion, the best, absolute best Omega Supreme figure by far. And two, we've never had an official Hasbro release of the Guardian robot from Generation 1. And I'm just really excited that we finally have it. So here he is in the box. He's in that big Generation Selects Titan class size box. Guardian robot right there. Transformers Legacy Evolution right there. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here he is out of the box, and as you can see, he is absolutely huge. This figure is very, very large. I mean, he is a Titan class figure. He is a Guardian robot, and he looks great. This is a figure I've been looking forward to for a very long time. And yeah, I know it's another repaint, but repaints are a big part of Transformers, and this one was one that, while it felt like it was a reach to get this figure after we got our first repaint Titan figure last year, which was Generation Selects Black Zarek from Super God Master Force, it wasn't too outside of the realm of possibilities to hope that maybe we would get some other Titan class repaints. Now, of course, this isn't the only one I'm hoping for. I'm also hoping at some point we get a Metro Titan release, a Grand Maximus, and even a Brave Maximus. Those are definitely Titan releases for Hasbro, at least, that are on my list. I know, of course, we did get Grand Maximus in Japan, but a United States release of Grand Maximus, especially now that we have Black Zarek, would be very nice, I think. So anyway, here he is in his robot mode. As you can see, he's absolutely massive. Same exact figure as Omega Supreme. He is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Of course, has the tank barrel gun on the back of his head, just like Omega Supreme does. He's got the wings just like Omega Supreme does, and yes, they did have the wings in the cartoon as well. Fully articulated shoulders with nice heavy ratchets. In and out. Single jointed elbows, lower bicep joint, just a nice little swivel joint just above the elbow there. You can telescope the cannon here, but that's mostly due to transformation. And you can also extend or stick in the barrel. Technically, it's supposed to be pushed in for robot mode, but display it how you like. Over here, you've got pretty much the same articulation from the elbow up. And for the other hand, for the thrust, for the legs of the rocket, you have his individual fingers, which do individually articulate, just like with the Siege Omega, which is very cool. So you can have him grab Decepticons or Autobots, because there was that one time when the Decepticons did take control of a Guardian robot, or at least a headless Guardian robot, and the Autobots had to fight it off, which was pretty cool. Waist, hips, upper thigh, single jointed knees, side ankle joints. You also have these cool panels that open up so you can store his accessories, or even his little Micromaster companion here, Lunar Tread. You have these shoulder sections that open up on the torso, and there's missile pods and stuff on the inside, which I really, really like. And that's pretty much it for his robot mode. Real quick for comparison, here he is next to Omega Supreme. This is awesome. I'm just so excited Again, I would have been happy if we only had gotten this Omega Supreme, because this is my #1 favorite Omega Supreme action figure. This is truly, truly the best one ever produced by Hasbro. And the fact that we got a Guardian robot out of it is just incredibly awesome. I also love, you'll notice on this, that it doesn't have any factional symbols on it. And that's because in the original Generation 1 cartoon, they did not belong to a specific faction, which was very cool. Transformation is exactly like Omega Supreme. He has the same alt mode as Omega Supreme. He transforms into a rocket with rocket base and Sentinel tank. So, to transform him, what we're going to do is we are going to come over here to this chest section here. We're going to open up these shoulder panels right there, and we're going to open up this gut panel right here, and then we're just going to pull the tank out. We're going to set that aside for the moment. Next, we're going to come over here to the back. We're going to untab this backpack section right here. We're going to grab the wings. We're going to pull those out. We're going to set those aside as well. Next, we're going to grab the shoulders and push back and separate that section. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the main body. So we're going to close that panel. We're going to leave these open. We're going to rotate that waist all the way around, like so. And then we're going to make him do the splits. Bend his knees all the way. And that's pretty much it for that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the wings. We're going to split them open and extend the pillars. And then with these little connector sections, you're going to come down here to the bottom of the feet, and you're going to plug those in to those sections right there. There we go. Do the same thing with the other wing, and it doesn't matter which wing you connect to which side. When it comes to his base mode, they are interchangeable. So again, it does not really matter at all. So there you go. Now we have the full track built around the Guardian robot there. Next, we're going to build the rocket. So for the rocket, what we do is bring those arms all the way out, bring those arms all the way out, fold out these little sections right here, telescope those sections up like so, and then come over here with these hinges and adjust with the articulation until you have this section fitted together, and then just wrap that around, click it into place, wrap that around, click it into place, adjust the landing struts for the rocket. And the rocket is so tall that even if I put the landing struts all the way flat, the very tip of it is still just barely out of frame on the camera. Another thing I really love about the rocket mode for both this figure and of course Omega Supreme is you have a nice little cockpit visor right there. It'd be cooler if it was painted in, but it's cool that it's molded there in the first place. This section does open, and while in rocket mode, you can display smaller scaled figures inside of the Guardian robot's rocket, which is also very awesome. And again, the Omega Supreme figure has that exact same play feature. All right, last but not least, the tank. So first we're going to push the head down on the torso. We're going to flip down the tank barrel from the back of his head. We're going to bring up these sections and extend them out, clicking them into place. Bring open this section right here. Untab the rear part of the treads on the back and rotate the chest panel all the way around, revealing this big tank barrel. And then we're going to collapse that like so. Bring the face all the way into the back of the tank barrel. Bring this section up, tab it into place, and then close this section back up, and that'll just click into place like so. And then what's cool is the wheels are just wide enough for him to sit on the track like so. And just like the original G1 Omega toy or even the Siege Omega toy, you can scoot him along the track. It'd be really cool if he still had electronics just like the original Omega Supreme toy, but this is still an awesome, awesome release with all of the great features of Omega Supreme, with all of the features of the Guardian robots that we saw in the Generation 1 cartoon. Now, in addition to his Micromaster companion, the repaint of Countdown, who is now Lunar Tread, you also have some cool little bloosh effects. So we have this big bloosh, this medium-sized bloosh, and this very pointed bloosh. You also have this other kind of wide, large bloosh, but not quite as large as this one right here, so you can put that one right there. This other large bloosh, so you can make one really awesome telescopic bloosh. And then you have these two little small pointed blooshes that look like they're about the same. So there's that. And of course you can plug those on to the various blasters and cannons that the Guardian robot has, which looks very cool coming off of his tank. You can plug them onto the rocket. You can even plug them onto the inner palm of the other hand slash thruster on the bottom of the rocket, which is very cool. Overall, there's a lot of awesome playability to this release, and for those of you who have been looking forward to a Guardian robot figure, an official Hasbro release of a Guardian robot figure, well, it's finally here. And you can even take the Omega Supreme tank and put it on here if you like as well. And the other cool thing about this is, since this is the same mold, and because of the way that they parts form, which is canon to how they transform as well, by the way, you can just mix and match and swap out the pieces of the Guardian robot and Omega Supreme figure, which I think is also very cool and something fun you could do. So there's a lot of awesome playability to this figure, like I said, and this is just another really cool Titan. And like I said, this is also the first official army builder Titan, which is something kind of scary as a concept, released by Hasbro. And real quick, last but not least, here is Lunar Tread, the repaint of Countdown, the Micromaster companion that came with Omega Supreme. He is white, blue, and orange. I actually really like the color scheme of this version, I think a little bit more than the one that came with Omega, mostly just because this one feels more like a lunar rover versus the one that came with Omega in colors, because usually the NASA vehicles are bright white. And I really like that. It looks really cool. Very articulated, shoulders are on a ball joint, hips are on a ball joint, single jointed knees, and that's pretty much it for robot mode articulation. Transformation is very simple. What you're going to do is you're going to bring up that dish, raise up his arms, fold in his legs, and then bring the arms up and peg them in, angle that dish a little bit, and there you go. There is Lunar Tread in his little lunar rover mode. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's review featuring the new Transformers Legacy Evolutions Generation Selects Guardian Robot. This is a figure that has been a long time coming, and again, proof that just because Hasbro hasn't released a certain character in the past that you might have been looking forward to, doesn't mean they won't ever get to it eventually, and that clearly includes Titans. So when it comes to me hoping that we get a Metro Titan, an American release of Grand Maximus and Brave Maximus, I would say they're within the realm of possibilities. Stay tuned for more Transformers reviews, check out some of our other content. In case you're local or visiting in town, come by our shop. It's inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.